Wednesday was a big day for you guys.
Wednesday was a big day for us, obviously in many ways. Most importantly, playing well on the road against a pretty good team, a team that we think will go on to have a successful season. And we hope that win is one that we look back on in March and feel like it helped us.
You touched a little bit on Twitter about Cade and Rondell, but how big is this class for you as a coach and a program?
It's huge. I think sometimes, and it's no one's fault, it's just not being inside the workings of the process. When you first take over a program, it takes a little while to figure out what you're trying to do long term. And this was a class that we identified pretty early on that was going to be pretty significant for us. You kind of got an idea of establishing who you are, what your needs are, what you want to do in terms of style of play. And so for basically 3 years now, we targeted this class as being one that we wanted to have a major impact, but also try to sign an elite level player, and obviously we feel like we accomplished that.
So it's a grand plan. You had
Yeah, there was a plan. Obviously, as far as Cade, I had already been recruiting him by the time I took over, and it was pretty relentless in my pursuit. And here we are today.
How many trips did you take to go see Cade? Can you estimate?
As many as you're able to take.
Yeah.
I didn't miss any opportunities to go see him, that's for sure. In fact, I was talking on the radio. So I saw him for the first time in September, the year I was an assistant in 2016. We played in Maui that year, and I took the red eye back from Maui and went straight to his high school to watch him play right off the plane. And I was there with about 12 other people, all of which were parents of one or the other team, because it was like a 1 o'clock game, Thanksgiving weekend, so it wasn't like a whole lot of people. There was a big event going on about 3 miles away where all the other coaches were, and so I was happy to be the only one in the building watching him that day.
What did you see in him so early? Because he wasn't necessarily this elite prospect at that point.
I think he was.
Right.
I really do. You do this long enough, just like anything, you just see something different sometimes that you're not accustomed to seeing, especially with young kids. Their poise, the way he was able to articulate the things he was trying to accomplish, his maturity level, his unselfishness for. I really thought he was a senior, to be perfectly honest. When I first saw him, I went to his coach and asked him, hey, what's going on with that kid? Is he going to sign late this year or something like that? Maybe thinking that if he was about 6'5" at the time. And if he was a senior, I was probably going to try to help him go to maybe a Southland level school or something like that. And when his coach told me that he was a freshman, I immediately knew that I needed to go kind of outside the box and do something I did not do very often as an assistant, which was offer him a scholarship immediately.
You talked about
going to visit him, but what was it like when he visited here for the first time?
It was great. I mean, he didn't visit here until this September. It was the first time he'd actually been on campus. We talked about it multiple times. The plan was last year to make a visit, and then when he's changed schools to go down to Montverde, made it much more difficult to get him here during the season. So the opportunity presented itself this fall. We were pretty entrenched in the recruitment at that time, and I think for him it was kind of validation. Our relationship was strong. The things that I told him about our program, and he came, it wasn't like it was a huge game. They played McNeese, no disrespect to them from a football standpoint, but it wasn't homecoming to hoops, it wasn't Bedlam, it wasn't anything like that, but he felt that it was important. He felt that our basketball program was a big deal. He came in here, saw the banners, and felt like he wanted to try to have an impact on making one happen himself.
This class isn't finished yet, but you go back 3 years. Could you have envisioned signing 2 top 25 classes in your first 3 years, including one of the best players in the country?
Yeah, and not arrogantly at all. I just believe that work wins. And I believe that our staff has put in the work that it takes to convince guys, or to help them understand, I should say. We don't try to convince them. We want them to believe it for themselves, that this is a place that you can achieve anything, that you can go on and be a draft pick. You can win a national championship and make deep runs in the tournament. You can play on the highest level against the best competition year in and year out. You're going to play a great schedule every year, which we've proven that we'll try to put together. So, yeah, I mean, not in an arrogant way. I just believe in what we do because I believe in the work.